At the beginning of 2014, Mt.Gox, a Bitcoin exchange based in Japan, was the largest Bitcoin exchange in the world, through which more than 70% of all Bitcoin transactions worldwide passed. By the end of February that year, it went bankrupt. Those who used Mt.Gox lost access to their assets, which was a warning to the entire cryptocurrency world. While assets were not wholly lost, whatever was left was frozen for years. After a while, users learned that the thefts had happened for several years. Still, the management should have emphasized this and informed users. However, after another hack, the company became insolvent. It seems impossible, but before jumping to conclusions, let's closely examine the hack. The rise of the Mt.Gox exchange. Mt.Gox was created in 2007 by American programmer Jed McCaleb to serve as a card exchange platform for the popular Magic: The Gathering online game. McCaleb never fully realized the original plan, repurposing the site as a Bitcoin exchange in 2010. Later, when the company's popularity and the amount of funds flowing through it began to skyrocket, he sold it to French-born Japanese programmer and entrepreneur Marc Karpeles. Karpeles' subsequent actions had disastrous consequences for the business. While the trading platform grew to become the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, processing up to 70% of all BTC transactions at once, the development of its internal mechanism stalled, making it an ideal target for hackers. The struggles behind the scenes. Although Mt.Gox expanded rapidly and became the largest Bitcoin exchange in the world by 2013, it was experiencing serious difficulties behind the scenes. After its collapse, some Mt.Gox employees revealed how the company operated. The result was a picture of a disorganized and disjointed organization with poor security measures, severe problems with the site's source code, and other serious business issues. In an interview with Wired, anonymous Mt.Gox insider said that the exchange's software development cycle lacked even basic things like version control and a testing environment, causing updates to be released too slowly. Vulnerabilities to go unpatched for weeks at a time. In May 2013, Mt.Gox's former business partner CoinLab sued the exchange for $75 million, alleging breach of contract. The companies entered an agreement under which CoinLab was supposed to take over servicing Mt.Gox's U.S. clients. Still, according to CoinLab's lawsuit, the deal failed due to Mt.Gox's breach of one of the contract clauses. In addition, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security opened an investigation into allegations that Mt.Gox's U.S. subsidiary did not have a license and therefore operated as an unregistered money transfer operator. As a result of this investigation, the U.S. government seized more than $5 million from the company's accounts. Due to the U.S. investigation, Mt.Gox temporarily suspended U.S. dollar withdrawals. While this suspension nominally lasted only a month, many customers experienced delays of up to 3 months in withdrawing funds, and only some of the U.S. dollar withdrawals were successfully completed. All of these delays caused Mt.Gox to lose its place as the largest Bitcoin exchange in the world by the end of 2013, dropping to third place. However, these problems were just the tip of the iceberg. Internally, Mt.Gox's problems were much more severe than they realized. The exchange had been the victim of continuous hacking for more than 2 years. The Mt.Gox hack. On the 7th of February 2014, Mt.Gox stopped all Bitcoin withdrawals, stating that this was done temporarily to gain a clear technical understanding of the currency process. After a few weeks of uncertainty, on the 24th of February 2014, the exchange suspended all transactions and the site was shut down. That same week, a leaked corporate document claimed that hackers attacked the Mt.Gox exchange and stole 744,408 bitcoins belonging to Mt.Gox customers and an additional 100,000 bitcoins belonging to the company itself, rendering the exchange insolvent. On the 28th of February, Mt.Gox filed for bankruptcy protection in Japan and 2 weeks later in the U.S. Subsequent investigations revealed that the massive hacking of Mt.Gox began as early as September 2011. As a result of these events, Mt.Gox operated in technical insolvency for nearly 2 years and, by mid-2013, had effectively lost all of its bitcoins. Additional evidence suggests that Mt.Gox was already short 80,000 bitcoins before Mark Karpels acquired the exchange in 2011. While the investigation is ongoing and the facts remain unclear, it is believed that most of the bitcoins stolen from Mt.Gox were stolen from its online, or hot, wallets, including all funds in cold storage due to a leak in the hot wallet. An online cryptocurrency wallet is a web wallet used to store secure digital codes, known as private keys, that prove ownership of a public digital code known as a public key. The public key can be used to access addresses where funds are stored, and this information is stored in the wallet. Prior to September 2011, Mt.Gox's private key was not encrypted, and it was apparently stolen by copying the wallet DAT file, either through hacking or possibly by an insider. Once the file was compromised, the hackers could access the bitcoins and gradually withdraw them from the wallets associated with the Mt.Gox private keys without arousing suspicion. The shared vital pool of the stolen file led to the reuse of addresses, which meant the company did not notice the theft. The Mt.Gox system interpreted these transfers as deposits, which were moved to more secure addresses. When wallets were emptied, the Mt.Gox system saw these as deposits, resulting in an additional 40,000 bitcoins credited to several user accounts. The aftermath. In March 2014, Mt.Gox announced on its website that it had discovered 200,000 bitcoins in old digital wallets used by the exchange before June 2011. These bitcoins remain in trust for creditors, while the company is under bankruptcy protection. Mark Karpels was arrested in Japan in August 2015 and charged with fraud and embezzlement. However, neither of those charges is directly related to the theft. He was jailed until July 2016, after which he was released on bail. He pleaded not guilty to the charges and his trial is ongoing. Mt.Gox is still under bankruptcy protection and the case remains under investigation. In addition, a lawsuit with CoinLab is ongoing, and distributions to creditors are only possible once that lawsuit is resolved. Where did the money go? 650,000 bitcoins remain unaccounted for as a result of the Mt.Gox hack. Several theories have emerged online regarding the whereabouts of the missing coins. Some suggest that Mt.Gox never had the number of bitcoins it claimed to have, and that Karpels manipulated the numbers to make it appear that Mt.Gox owned more bitcoins than it actually did. As for how the hacker was able to access the bitcoins that Mt.Gox was storing in the cold wallet, theories range from suggestions that the vault could have been compromised by someone with on-site access to theories that bitcoins from the cold vault were gradually transferred into Mt.Gox's system when the hot wallet ran dry, and that a lack of oversight among employees meant that no one realized that the wallets had been emptied by the hackers. In July 2017, Russian citizen Alexander Vinnik was arrested by U.S. authorities in Greece and charged with a key role in laundering bitcoins stolen from Mt.Gox. Greek authorities also accused Vinnik of laundering approximately $4 billion in bitcoins. Vinnik is allegedly linked to BTC, a well-known Bitcoin exchange that the FBI searched as part of the investigation. BTC's website was shut down, and the FBI seized the domain and web hosting accounts. This marked the first time the U.S. government had seized a foreign exchange in another country. Investigations by WISEC, a group of Bitcoin security experts, found that Vinnik owned the wallets to which the stolen bitcoins were transferred, many of which were sold on BTC. With Mark Karpels' trial continuing in Japan and the indictment against Alexander Vinnik, certain aspects of the Mt.Gox hacking investigation seem to be finally starting to come together. Whether this will lead to the return of all, or at least some of the stolen bitcoins, remains to be seen. But we can already hope that we will soon gain at least some insight into what happened to Mt.Gox. Mt.Gox Update 2023. As of 2023, the long-running saga surrounding Mt.Gox continues, with the hacked cryptocurrency exchange fund managers announcing an extension of the deadline for repaying debts to creditors. Payments were originally due to be completed by the 31st of October 2023. Still, the manager has now been given until the 31st of October 2024 to complete the repayment process. This is the second significant deadline extension. as creditors have been waiting almost a decade to recover their funds since the infamous 2014 hack. While around 200,000 bitcoins have already been recovered, lenders are still waiting for around 650,000 BTC stolen during the hack. Given that the value of Bitcoin has increased significantly since 2014, the amount stolen is now estimated to be nearly $23 billion. The reimbursement is planned in both Bitcoins and fiat currency upon lenders' requests. Analysts expect the release of tens of thousands of Bitcoins to have some impact on prices, although markets are much more liquid today. For Mt.Gox victims, the deadline extension means that expectations of receiving funds in 2023 have dissipated. However, it also bodes well for progress, as creditors may finally be reimbursed after years of waiting. Lessons learned. Bankruptcy laws proved inadequate to deal with Mt.Gox, and this could have led to an unfair situation that would have generated a tremendous amount of litigation and potentially illegal actions. It's unlikely that Karpela's actually planned to defraud Mt.Gox users, and his life has become much more complicated since the exchange's collapse. He faces several lawsuits, cannot leave Japan, and spent some time in jail before being partially released in the land of the rising sun. The obvious lesson for the crypto community is the need for better structures to manage situations when the worst happens. It's absurd that people are still waiting to get their funds back. For you and me, this serves as a powerful reminder not to place blind trust in the big players of the market. It empowers us to be more cautious and keep our funds in hot wallets.